Hey, it's Tom from Tom's Toons. Here's a topic that I don't think we've talked about, not in detail and not in its own video. It has to do with when you're laying your new deck on your pontoon boat. We've got our marine grade treated plywood. This happens to be, actually it's 4-foot sheets, but they're 101 inches long. They come 102 inches, but some of the manufacturers cut their boards an inch short. That ensures that it's not going to be over the max trailering limit in terms of width without a permit. All things aside, doesn't matter if your boat's 8.5 or 8 foot or 101 inches instead of 102. This applies to just about every boat that we work on. Occasionally things are plumb square, but this one really piqued my interest in terms of what to share, because actually when we were taking this boat apart, it was noticeable that where two boards were meeting on the seams, everything was cheating. Every board forward, just like this, was cheating over to starboard. Again, sometimes it cheats over, they shift over to port, sometimes to starboard, sometimes they're a little bit twisted, wonky. And I don't necessarily think that it's the boat has twisted or moved. I think this one was built this way. That's why from the factory, things were shifting starboard as you went forward. I've plumbed up the backboard perfectly square. Everything side to side, back, front, everything is laying perfectly square on the back of the boat. Those cross members, sometimes I'll check those to make sure that those are all square. I think what happens is these brackets that get welded on that are actually bolting the cross member to the hull, sometimes I think those move a little bit. There's a 25-foot long pontoon here and brackets every 16 inches, give or take, welded on. Things move, heat warp, whatever you want to call it, whatever might have caused it. Yes, Corey? All pontoon boats are made on Friday. But it's really common when you start laying your boards, if you plumb them up square, you might end up with a measurement in the back of the boat that's 2 inches, and by the time you get to the front of the boat, you might be at 3-4 inches sometimes. It can be a drastic amount. A lot of times we're going to cheat these boards over about 1/8 of an inch every time we move forward at a seam, and that way we can be square by the time we get all the way done. That's a little tip, little trick. Don't be afraid if you have to shift those boards ever so slightly. Not the end of the world. It's actually really common.